Yeah, good afternoon, students. Uh, Welcome back to our class, that is Managerial Economics and Financial Accounting. We are going to close with our second unit. Two topics are there regarding the demand forecasting and perfect and imperfect competition. So, first, we learn about today what do you mean by demand forecasting. In the last class, you may have come to know about the demand and how the forecasting takes place. Now, demand forecasting is the process in which historical sales data is used to develop an estimate of an expected forecast of customer demand. To businesses, demand forecasting provides an estimation of the amount of goods and services that its customers will purchase in the foreseeable future. That means whatever the data was available with the market peoples, that means they will collect the data on the historical sales. That means whatever the sales have purchases has been taken place by the customers. Depending on that data, they will estimate in future that how much amount of goods or quantity of goods should have to be manufactured for future. So this process is known as demand forecasting. Now, forecasting the predicting the future, that means forecasting means what? It is nothing but the predicting the future coming, that means planning for the future. Now what are the things will be there? Inventory control or production planning should be there. In this, what will happen? The control the stock of raw materials and finished goods. Whatever the raw materials will be there, they will have to control and they have to plan for their production. And whatever the finished goods will be there, they have to plan for that also. Means whatever the finished goods will be there and what is there in their inventory, what is the planning should be there for the production finished goods. Everything should have to be recorded and they have to keep for the future. Estimation cost would be there and estimation goods, that means raw materials and finished goods will be there. Another one, investment policy. That means it is nothing but it is forecasting financial information. Investment policy will help to the forecasting financial information such as interest rates, exchange rates, share prices, gold prices, etc. Economic policy. Another one is economic policy. It means it is going to forecast the economic information such as the growth in the economy, unemployment, inflation rate, etc. Forecasting is consists of again divided into two groups or two parts. One is the passive forecasting, another one the active forecasting. Under passive forecast prediction, about future is based on the assumption that the firm does not change the course of its action. That means, depending on the future, it is not going to change any kind of action. That is, already it has been planned and is forecasting on it. Coming to the active forecast prediction, it is done under the condition of likely future changes in the action of the funds by short-term demand forecasting or long-term demand forecasting. See, they will change will be there. So that is nothing but active forecast prediction. So when the changes is not there, then it is known as passive forecasting. Now, making a forecast, that means what are the to make a change, that means a future event or trend, what are the making a forecasting, that means predicting or estimating the future cost or the future forecasting is nothing but we are having six steps. What are those? First one, it is helpful to determine the forecast, but what is the purpose of changing the passive to active? Second one is establish a time horizon. What is the time period will be there and how the horizon will takes place? Third step is it is going to select a forecast technique. What are the techniques should have to be adopted on those time period? That means what is the purpose, what is the time, and that means they have to check the right purpose and the right time and the right technique should have to be utilized. After utilizing all these things, then what they will do, they will go for the fourth step, that is nothing but gathering and analyzing the data. They will collect the data. After that, they will make the forecast. They will change the work. That means afterwards, after changing, after doing the forecasting, then they will monitor the forecasting. That means they will do the inspection, the forecasting. Now, what are the criteria for the choice of a good forecasting methods are? Have a look on the screen. First one, it should be good accuracy should be there, reliability should be there, timelineess should be there, easy to use and understand it, and cost effectiveness should be there. That means it should not have to affect the cost. That means the company should not have to waste the unnecessary cost. Now, We are having different types of forecasting. What are those? One is short term, medium term, long term. Short term forecast is nothing but refers to a period up to 3 months. That means 0 to 3 years time bound. Medium term forecasting refers to a period from 3 months to 1 year. Whereas long term forecasting refers to a period more than that means above 1 year. And seasonal factors that are ingredients of the short-term forecast. It is forecasting by trends. Statistical techniques are used to judge the long-run forecasting. So on the screen you can see what are the different parts and how it is using. Now we'll go for the selecting a forecasting method. What are the forecasting method will be selected? Availability and accuracy of historical data means these are the points where the company can select the forecasting method. First one is availability and it should be an accuracy data. Then second one, time available to make the analysis. There should be time should be there for the company to take the decisions. Degree of accuracy expected, length of the forecast period, cost of making the analysis and preparing periodic future. So all these things are coming under the selection of forecasting method. Now again types of forecasting. Types of forecastings are consist of two. One is qualitative, another one is quantitative. First one is qualitative. Qualitative difference is nothing but optimum polling method. Coming to the quantitative, it is nothing but statistical method. Coming to the qualitative, the qualitative method consists of first one consumer survey method. Again in the consumer survey method, what we are having consumer complete entrance survey, surprise survey and text marketing and uses. And second one is Salesforce optimum opinion methods, experts opinion method, and another one is market experiments. In market experiments you are having experiment in laboratory and test marketing. So these are the things which are coming in the qualitative techniques, which is also known as opinion polling method. Whereas coming to the quantitative techniques also known as statistical method. In these we are having the first one is mechanical uh, extrapolation or trend projection. Trend projection is also known as mechanical extrapolation. Again under this trend project we are having five. One is fitting, trend line by observation, least square linear regression, time series analysis, moving averages and annual differences, exponential smoothing. Second one is barometric method. Next one is statistical method, and this again we are having regressions and regressions method and native method. And the last one is simultaneous equation method. So I hope students you understand, and this is very important picture. If you are able to understand what does it mean, you can able to understand the types of forecasting. So what's the main purpose? Qualitative techniques. The qualitative techniques again is having the these are the things like Salesforce competitions, market research survey, Delphi method, executive judgment. The qualitative techniques consist of a new product is being introduced, existing changes are subjected to quantitative variables such as taste, preference, consumer expectations, statistics data available. Market experiment is necessary. Now coming to the first one, that is consumer survey method. Coming to consumer survey method, we are having complete enumeration survey method. In this complete enumeration means salary or rewards or wages. So it is depend on that. So depending on the comparative forecasting, it is going to be other. For example, if there are n consumers and their probable demands for commodity X in the forecast periods are X1, X2, X3, X4 and so on Xn. The forecast would be what will happen? X is equal to X1 plus X2 plus X3 plus X4 and so on X3. So what are the merits or advantages? First hand and biased information will be there. He and second one, sales forecast is usually be accurate, suitable for products having a small number of consumers. And coming to the demerits, it is tedious, cumbersome and costly. That means it is not feasible for product having numerous consumers. There will be data error, that means strong possibility of data error will be there in this. Now coming to the second one, that is sample survey. In the sample survey they will take, for example, there are 10,000 consumers of good eggs are there, and the forecast may choose 500 companies out of this. Out of this, who are those? That means depending on this demand, they will go for either we have to go for the long term or short term or medium term. Then end use will be there. In the end use, in this method, the sale of the product under consideration is projected on the basis of demand survey of the industries using this product as an intermediate product. Now, coming to the second one, Salesforce opinion method. In Salesforce opinion method, what is happening? This is also known as collective opinion or reaction survey method. Salesforce is also known as collective opinion or reaction survey method. In this method, the salesmen have to report to the head office of their estimates of expectations of sales in their territories. Such information can be obtained from the retailers and wholesalers by the company. Next one is expert opinion method. In this method, the views are obtained from a group of specialists outside the firm. This is also known as Delphi method. And Delphi method is one of the example of expert opinion method. Delphi technique involves asking a body of experts to arrive at a consensus opinion as to what the future holds. Next one is market. Another one is here. Fourth one has not been mentioned. That is market experiments. In the market experiments, we are having experimentation in laboratory and test marketing. Experiment in the laboratory means what is happening in this form. It is a method a small laboratory is formed by creating an artificial market situation. It is used to study consumer reaction to a change in demand variables in the control condition by the consumer clinic. The selected consumers are given a small amount of money and asked to buy certain items. So what is happening? We are going to observe the consumer behavior in the clinic, and this is known as the observe and inference of the experiment in laboratory. Coming to the next one, that is test marketing. In this method, what will happen? The market experiment pupils form under actual market conditions. That means the firm conducts the experiment in the selected market under controlled conditions by varying one or more demand determinants like price, advertisement, taste, preference, consumer behavior, etc. Now, coming to the qualitative techniques, we are having first one is trend projection or mechanical extrapolation. That means statistical method is also known as quantitative technique. In this, we are having the trend. Trend projection method is also known as mechanical extrapolation. In these, we are having first one fitting trend line. So what is happening here in this? It is nothing but it is going to collect the plotting of actual sales data on a chart and then estimate by observation when the trend line lies. That means what is happening? It involves actually it is fitting a trend line, but after doing observation, they will put a point on it and they are going to focus on it. Next one is least square or linear regression method. In this method, what is happening? A statistical, that means the best trend line with best fits with available data. Whatever the data we are having, depending on the data, we are going to fix a data or we are going to fit our thing. Like for example, sales formula is that sales is equal to a plus b into n number of years, where a and b are the constant representing the intercept and slope respectively of the estimate straight line. In order to determine the value of a and b, the following two more equations to be solved. That means delta S is equal to Na plus b into delta t. So in this, when we are going for the problems, you can able to understand those things. Another one is forecasting a time series. In time series, what is happening? Or we can say yeah, in time series also what is happening, we will go for the quarter wise or monthly wise. That means once in a 3 months, once in a month or half yearly, they'll collect the data and they will identify the seasonal effect too. Now coming to the smoothing technique. Smoothing techniques, again we are having moving averages and exponential smoothing. That means moving averages means seasonal variation. Coming to the exponential smoothing, the forecasting method called gets around the moving limitations. Whatever the limitations will be there within an period of time, we are going to check demand, calculates the average demand over the n period that uses average forecasting for the next period's demand. It means the thing is moving averages it is used to calculate for the seasonal index. That means what are the seasonal festivals are coming, depending on that how much the goods are the price we should have to keep or remove. Like 2 days back Dasara was there, they have seen the festival was there and they had kept some offer on it, and the customers purchase so many new items like durable goods, non-durable goods. So after keeping that, the stock has been removed. This is nothing but it is a moving averages or smoothing techniques. Now coming to the next one, ARIMA method. ARIMA method is here before exponential method and barometric. That means barometric methods is there. Before that, we are having one more. After exponential method, we are having one more, that is ARIMA. ARIMA method was developed by Box and Jenkins. This method of forecasting uses autoregressive integrated moving average. This method is highly suitable to situations where the inherent pattern in the underlying series is highly complex and difficult to understand. When we are unable to understand the series and how complex it will be there, then ARIMA method is going to be used. Now coming to the barometric method. Again in the barometric method we are having leading series, coincident series and lagging series. Next one is uh, regressions method. In the regressions method, what are the things will be there? So calculation part will be there and they will use the, that means it is the study of relationship among variables, a principal purpose of which the predict or estimate the value of one variable from known or assumed value or other variable related to it. Another one, econometric model. In this, what is happening? It is based on the change in the economic activity can be explained. That means set of relationship among the economic variables. There are grown a branch of applied science known as econometrics. So whatever the changes are coming in this, we are going to improve this. Now simultaneous equation model. Last one is simultaneous equation model. That means this method is also called as complete system approach of forecasting, and it is a very sophisticated statistical method of forecasting. It involves the development of a complete model which can explain the behavior of all the variables which the decision unit, firm or industry can control. The number of equations in such a model equals the number of dependable variables. Now we are having market structure. So here also one forecasting, smoothing, simple, moving, exponential, ARIMA. That means ARIMA is here. So all these things will be taking place. Now market structure. Market structure consists of perfect competition, imperfect competition. Again in imperfect competition we are having these three: oligopoly, monopoly, monopolistic competition. Now these are the classification depending on how the market will be classified, depending on the area, local level, regional level, national level, international level, time level, very short, long, very long. Competition, that means perfect competition or imperfect competition. Functional, fixed, specific, sample and grading. Commodity, on the product, stock or billion. Legally, legal or illegal, depending on the market the product will be classified. Now first we will go for the summary. That means what sort of markets will be there, what are the characteristics here. In perfect competition, sellers entry barriers will be no. Many sellers will be there and many buyers will be there. There will be no barriers. Coming to the, this is imperfect. Imperfect consists of all these four remaining. So here many buyers will be there in monopolistic competition and many uh, seller and buyer will be there. Here also there no barriers will be there. Coming to the oligopoly and monopoly, seller entry barriers, that means when he is only single seller will be there and no competitions will be there. Seller number will be very few and here only one will be there, and buyer entries no one is going to buy, and buyer number, n number of buyer will be many. Coming to monopsony, no seller entry will be there, seller number will be many, and number of sellers will be there. It means buyer entry, that means by entry periods will be yes, and by n number of buyers will be one, anyone will be there. How you will see here, what are the characteristics of perfect monopolistic? A perfect monopolistic market has the following characteristics. What are those? That means here there are many buyers sellers in the market. Each company makes a similar product. Buyers and seller has access to perfect information about price. There are no transaction costs. There are no barriers to entry into or exit from the market. So once it enter into the market, there are no barriers to exit from the market. Many buyers will be there, many sellers will be there. Similar product, many companies will make. Now, what is the equilibrium of the perfect incompletion? That means equilibrium indicates a situation in where there is a complete adjustment of the various forces operating there, and there is no inducement of to change. The consumer is said to be in equilibrium when he derives maximum satisfaction. That means equilibrium is what the customer is having maximum satisfaction with the product of the company. Now, equilibrium in perfect competition is the point where market demands will be equal to market supply. In the long run, both demand and supply of the product will affect the equilibrium in perfect competition. A firm will receive only normal profits in the long run at the equilibrium point. See, and short term equilibrium. And the short term competition equilibrium is a situation in which, given the firm in the market, the price is such that total amount the firm's wish to supply is equal to the total amount of the consumer wish to demand. If you see here in the picture, here it is this is price one, this is supply, and this is the demand. This is the market supply and demand, and this is the price cost. What we are seeing. Coming to the revenues, cost and profits for a competitive firm. When marginal cost is equal to actual revenue is equal to marginal revenue. When it is reaching, then the output is cost. This is nothing but the short run equilibrium with perfect competition. Now we will go for another one. This is normal profit. How a firm will get a normal profit? If you see that this is 0, this is the quantity Q, P is equal to price, D is equal to demand. This is a demand line. When it is having, when P is equal to price is equal to marginal revenue is MR is equal to AR. When it is existing, then it will is nothing but the loss is there. So it should be when how much demand is there, that much production should be there. If the production is more than the demand, then that is a loss for the company. Now, how the firm will get losses? If you see here, in this we are having the normal profit. AC, when we are saying MR is equal to AR, then MC is equal to AC. Then we are having the normal profit. When we are going for the normal losses, here price 1, price 2, quantity 1. When the price 1 we are having this one, the customer, that means here it is given. When the marginal cost is more, that means this is the marginal cost at the time of price P2. When the marginal cost of price P1 is equal to this much, then D is equal to AR is equal to MR. When they are crossing apart from the MR, then we are having MC. That means we are having ATC. So this figure shows that the company is in the huge loss. Now, imperfect competition. Imperfect competition is a competition market situation where there are many sellers and they are selling heterogeneous. That means dissimilar goods as opposed to the perfect competition market scenario. If a seller is selling a non-identical good in the market, then he can raise the price and earn profit. It depends on him. Now, imperfect competitions can be found in the following structure. It will be in the structure of the monopoly. It means the monopoly is a structure in which there is only one seller. Only one seller will be there and many buyers. That means no one will be there in the competition for him. And oligopoly. The structure has many buyers but few sellers will be. That means here the demand. Sellers will be very few and the buyers will be more. That means demand will be. Monopolistic competition, monopsy and oligopoly competition. So in our syllabus we are having monopoly, oligopoly and monopoly competition. So we will focus on it. What are the various forms of imperfect competition? Monopoly, most inefficient and most extreme imperfection. That means the only supplier of a unique product with no close substitute in the market. Coming to the oligopoly, more efficient than a monopoly. If there are few firms in the market and each firm is producing close substitute product, then we have oligopoly. It means what? More efficient than a monopoly. If there are few firms in the market and each firm is producing close substitute product, then we have oligo, same product we are that means nearly closed product we are manufacturing, and we are few firms are there, competition is very less and buyers are more, then oligopoly will takes place. Coming to the monopolistic competition, it's closest to the perfect competition. A large number of firms that produce differentiate products that are reasonably close substitute to each other or for each other. Now we'll learn one by one. What is monopoly? Monopoly is nothing but it is a single seller, as we have discussed. What is happening? He can make price maker. He is the final price maker. And monopoly firm is itself an industry. Its firm is the industry. Full control over supply. No close substitutes will be there. Downward sloping demand curve will be there. Barriers to entry. No, these are the things are going to take place. If you see here, this is the quantity 1, and this is the quantity 2, the price 1, and this is the price 2. When we are having human, that means dead weight loss is there. That means no loss is there for him in this. When he is increasing the price, demand quantity is also decreasing, but whereas the price is also increasing. So he is having dead end price. When this process is known as the monopoly competition. Now, see here, demand all these things. When the quality is Q1, the price is this much, and the quantity is this much. This much sale is there. So what's happening? The price is increasing. Even though when the decrease of the price, that means this is a supply is there. When he's increasing the supply, he is increasing the price also. Now, coming to the price output determined under monopoly. Under normal profit and loss. If you see here in the picture, what is happening here? When the profit, this is the marginal revenue and this is the actual revenue. This is the price, this is the price 1, this is the revenue, and this is the MC. When it is going outside, as he's having a number of sales, that means he can sell the goods at his own price. So he is a single seller and he can go and cross up to at any level of the product. That means he is going to sell the product at any cost, and when the demand is more of his product, so he's a single seller, he can make the profit as much. The price here, this is the same price, the quantity is same, even it is increasing the price or decreasing the price. When coming to the normal profit, PQR, PQR, this means this is a thing here, MR is equal to AR, where marginal cost is equal to actual cost. See, here this is the actual cost is this much, but he's having the marginal cost is when marginal cost is more than the actual cost, then he's having more. This is the normal profit. When actual revenue is less than marginal revenue, then here it is having more. When the price is less comparing to the marginal cost, he is getting more. How the losses will take place? When the supply is less compared with the marginal cost, and he is getting the losses. Next, duopoly. A duopoly is a situation where two companies together own all or nearby all of the market for a given product or service. A duopoly is the most basic form of oligopoly, a market dominated by a small number of companies. If you see here, like MasterCard has been converted to Visa card, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi one, Airbus, and right. This means these are the things where the two companies are joining together for their mutual understanding and connect. Now, oligopoly market. Oligopoly is a market structure with a small number of firms, enough which can keep the others from having a significant influence. The concentration ratio measures the market share of the largest firms. A monopoly is one firm, a duopoly is two firms, and an oligopoly is two or more firms. If you see here in the picture, oligopoly has few sellers, lack of uniformity will not be there, entry and exit barriers will be there, competition will be there, advertising will be there, interdependence will be there. If you see the pricing here, what is happening here in the exactly, that means this is the output is there, this is the marginal price is there, and this is the uh, MC, the marginal cost is there. Now coming to here, what is happening? This is the elasticity is taking place, and this is the inelasticity is taking place. See here, If you see OP is the price, OP is the price at which the firm is selling the product, and the output in is OEM. The output is OEM is there. So what is the price? Here it is taking place. Now what is happening exactly here? The YX portion of the AR curve, YX portion. This is Y and this is YX portion of AR. That means, so what is happening here? If you see the YX portion of the AR curve is elastic below the voices, and here MC and MC elastic is the inelastic. So here pricing and underplay is very difficult. So this is the term we have to go for it. Now coming to the monopolistic competitions, what are the features are there for the monopolistic competitions? Large number of sellers will be there, free end-to-end access will be there, perfect factor mobility will be there, complete dissemination of market information will be there, differentiate product will be there. Now coming to the one more thing, how monopolistic competitions is differ from perfect competition. If you see the picture, you can able to understand what are the number of products, producers, sellers in the market. Many, here also many types of goods and services available for consumers. Here homogeneous, here differentiated. Does the firm have control over their own prices? No. Here yes. Is branding and marketing is important? No. But here in monopolistic, yes. Are any entries barriers zero, low or high? Zero barriers, low barriers. So all these are the, that means these are different the points where it differentiate perfect competition versus monopolistic competition. Thank you students. Have a nice day. I hope students will understand. By this we have complete the second unit, and tomorrow from tomorrow onwards we are going to have a third unit by another ma'am. And whatever the doubts you are having or which topics you have not understand, please mention in the comment box so that I can recover or explain the same thing to you. And one or two graphs are there, I'll just complete in the next class all those graphs. Thank you. Have a nice day. Mention your roll numbers in the comment box.